Yes, Adam.
Remember when you talked today on the podcast about how the Leafs hadn't gone to a shootout all season?
I do seem to recall that, yes. Listen, man, I'm trying to be positive.
Well, I'm positive you jinxed them. Thanks!
You're welcome.
Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do.
I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up.
This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills.
With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Leafs lose 3-2 in the shootout to the last place San Jose Sharks. And you might have noticed I'm not in the blue room right now. Why might I not be in the blue room? So many questions that I do, believe it or not, plan on answering. But first, me in the blue room. Listen, I think we all have someone in our lives who loves taking photos. Or maybe you yourself are the person taking hundreds of pictures that just waste away on your phone. Well, today I have a solution to that problem. Start putting them to good use with a unique, stylish digital picture frame from Aura Frames, the sponsor of today's LFR. These frames are so easy to use, even I figured it out. Look at the puppy. Can you believe that's Iggy? He's about to be 10. Oh, here's a couple with Iggy and Charlie, regal and majestic boys. Plus, the frame is sleek and adds a nice touch to the decorations I already have in my home. There are several. Aura Frames are also the perfect gift for any occasion. Save the wrapping paper. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Plus, you can upload as many pictures as you want before or after it's shipped. From anywhere. Aura Frames are also compatible with any video up to 30 seconds in length. Well, right now you can save on the perfect gift that keeps on giving by visiting auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com with the promo code DANGLE. Because the world needs more victory puppies. Thanks, me at home. It's a very nice frame. I look at it every day. I keep it right in the kitchen. It's my favorite place. And I'm about to get in the Leafs kitchen because they blew it! A 2-0 lead against the last place team. How do you justify that? How do you look yourself in the eye? How do you sleep at night? Is how I think a lot of people are going to react to this. And, you know I'm me. I'm self-aware that I'm me. I'm Yelly Screamy Man. I'm the guy who several times a season turns a shade of purple or fuchsia. Is fuchsia like a type of pink or a purple? Or is it purpley pink? Is it pinky purple? I'm getting sidetracked. Listen. Last game, the Leafs won. They did. They won. It was yesterday. They won against the Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime. I love an overtime win. But you know what? It wasn't good enough for a lot of fans. Okay, sure. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Okay, sure. They've won 5 straight. Okay, sure. They literally haven't lost a hockey game since before the Four Nation face-off, which began nearly a month ago. But because Joseph Woll wasn't otherworldly and the Leafs only won the game by 1 goal, they're poo. And listen, I know this is me. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. That's the trauma talking. The Leafs did have a 2-0 lead in this game. Yes. The Leafs did blow that 2-0 lead. Yes. The Leafs lost. Yes. Brother or sister, that is 11 out of 12 points in their last 6 games. Yes, I know it's against the Sharks. Yes, I know they're at home. 6 games in 9 nights, man. We talked about the podcast. There is a lie that is being peddled about the Leafs, and that is that they have one of the easiest strength of schedules. Why was that word so hard? Strength of schedules for the rest of the season. That's basically just looking at the opponents they're playing, i.e. the Sharks. It doesn't take into account all the back-to-backs, all the travel, all the time on the road. Listen, I don't know how it looked on TV. I was too busy making it. But I'm here to tell you that I was at the arena, saw the game from way up high, and in the first period, they looked very good. In the second period, they looked very good. For the first 40 minutes, they were clearly the better team. Very clearly. And in the third period, they looked like an electronic device that had run out of power, and as many times as they tried to smack it, they couldn't get enough juice out of smacking it to win the thing. They very nearly did. We could talk about the particulars of the game, but I think, for me, the Yelly Screamy Man who yells in Screamy Mans when they lose hockey games, especially against weaker opponents like the Sharks, allegedly. We'll get to that. I give them a break here, man. I don't know. I think a lot of people don't want to hear that at all. They look gassed. Come on, they're professional athletes. You're not going to believe who they were playing against. Professional athletes! Yes, also on the road, all that. Listen, When it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs, you know, in recent memory, this team has done nothing to earn the benefit of the doubt. None. But trying to be as fair as possible and isolating this year's Leafs team to just this year, they've earned this loss, if that makes sense. They've at least earned enough that they can lose this game, still get a point out of it, and the sky isn't falling. And you have to take my opinion seriously. Look at me. I'm sitting between fake houseplants. It's the mark of professionalism. Faux exposed brick. Why did we pick this studio? We have 3 different studios. I could have filmed this in the Mortal Kombat crotch studio. If you don't know what that studio is, you need to consume more SDPN content. We will talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of the game, but to me, they were gonna lose eventually. Yes, Florida's right there, and it's annoying. Yes, Tampa's kind of right there, and it's annoying. You can't win every game. Actually, let me just check my phone. Oh, Tampa can. Well, it's pretty annoying. I don't think the sky is falling. Now, the reason I am in this studio is because I was downtown. I was at the game. Why, might you ask? Well, it's because the San Jose Sharks paid me, obviously. No, that's not true. I happened to be a resident Sharks truther and at this San Jose Sharks versus Toronto Maple Leafs game, but that is not why I was there. Find folks at Amazon Prime where that's what this game was on. It was on Amazon Prime. They said, would you and Adam like to be on our broadcast of this Toronto Maple Leafs game? And Adam said yes immediately. And I said, do I have to put on a suit? And then said yes immediately. So they had us on. Me, Adam, and Jesse, we all did a segment pre-game. I hope you saw that. And then first intermission, it's Adnan Virk, who I briefly worked with at Leafs TV, Shane Knighty, who played in the NHL, and me and Adam in our Blazers. Here's Drew showing pictures of us on the broadcast. Only the handsomest and most flattering of the photos. Thank you, Drew, for picking the nicest ones. I appreciate that. He didn't pick any silly ones. I'm really happy. Thank you. Thank you. This means a lot to me. It was a lot of fun. And if you want to watch it, we posted it on all our social media channels. Actually, you can see the pregame hit and our intermission hit at first intermission on our Instagrams, on our Twitters, and those 2 for sure. I don't know if it's anywhere else. Professionalism! Plants! Listen, this game was fun. Well, okay, the first bit. Rest of it was kind of crap. I was buzzing too much from the fact that we were on that broadcast to notice that the game wasn't very good. Again, these guys look exhausted. But the first goal in the second period, John Tavares, it's like a shot from midair. Not a deflection, a shot. That's how perfectly he deflected this thing in. His 24th, 1-0. Matthew Nyes, the human embodiment of go to the net. He took it a little too literally and became the net. His 24th of the season, and he keeps hot. Not just goals in back-to-back games, goals in back-to-back days. Leafs are 2-0. They're humming. And then Jack Thompson with a wide open net. He buries it, and the Sharks are all of a sudden in this thing. And we all had to do the thing that none of us are willing to admit that we had to do, and that is Google Jack Thompson. He's from Curtis, Ontario, home of the Courtyard Pub. I have pints there and enjoy their curry. It's right next to Oshawa, that's why I know it. Now, Leaf fans, be careful. Oh, I don't know who that is. Who's this guy on the Sharks? He's a defenseman with 3 goals this season is what he is. There's a few Leafs defensemen who can't claim that. But okay. The Leafs aren't going to blow this, though. So then they blew it. Wide open net for Tyler Toffoli, which is, generally speaking, a terrible decision. But the net was wide open because Anthony Stolarz, I think, tripped over Anthony Stolarz. I don't know if he tripped over the net or his own feet or what, but he just falls down, and being 6'7", it just looks funnier. And now here's the thing about Anthony Stolarz. He's been great all season. Literally heading into this game, he was tied for the best save percentage in the NHL with Connor Hellebuck. So, is that a good goal? It's probably not, right? Does that mean he had the best game? Like, he didn't face that many shots, so he probably didn't have the best game then, right? All right, let's treat him like we did Joseph Woll yesterday and say he sucks and is bad. That's how this works, right? That's how this works? Oh, it's not how this works. It just happens sometimes. Listen, if you're not liking that I'm telling you to calm down, I just need you to register that Steve Dangle is telling you to calm down. I am the person you show your family to convince them that you're normal and that your Leafs fandom is healthy. And I'm telling you to cool down. Was that good from Anthony Stolarz? No. Was that good from the rest of the team? No. Did I open my big mouth and say that the Leafs have never been in a shootout this season? Yes. Did they lose in the shootout? Yes. In the most painful way possible. First of all, they start with a full 2-minute power play in overtime and they don't do anything with it. Then Stolarz makes a preposterous save on Will Smith. I was wondering what he'd been up to since he slapped Chris Rock. That's a thing that happened. We don't talk about that enough. Like, that happened on TV. Right after Nylander buries it, the Leafs are about to win this game. The crowd certainly acted like it. We were more energetic than everyone else. The Leafs is what I meant to say. The Leafs. Everyone else is what came out. Oh, and Toffoli scores, and John doesn't score. Oh, Mitch's stick broke. I forgot that was so dumb. That's when the hockey gods are just like, no, you're losing this one. And the Sharks ice it. Leafs lose. And all of Toronto, all of the greater Toronto area, all of Leafs Nation learns the truth. One thing they were doing on the Amazon broadcast all night was talking about how the San Jose Sharks have been hanging around. There's been a lot of losses recently, but a lot of games where they've been holding on to leads, getting leads, and a play happens and it all unravels. They're playing like a very young team with young players worth paying attention to, with Fabian Zetterlund and William Eklund and Colin Graff and Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini. And yes, I said him late to make myself seem smarter. Yaroslav Askarov. I forgot to throw him in there. Alexander Georgiev is not even that old, and he won this game. He's a noted Leafs killer. That's why he started. The worst team in the NHL, still pretty good. And I've been banging that drum since last season. Everyone was paying attention to the carnival factor with the San Jose Sharks. Okay, you allow 10 goals against in back-to-back games. Yeah, you might call that bad. Most of their season last season wasn't that. Most of their season this season wasn't that. They were a feisty group, a dogged group, and Celebrini in person is a treat. And I can't wait to watch him in person once again when SDPN heads on down to San Jose at the end of March, because that's a thing that's happening. If you didn't know that, it's because you don't listen to the SDP, and you're wrong. Incorrect. Try again. Questions. Christine says, I'm heading to Vegas for the game because they play in Vegas on Wednesday. That means they're flying to Vegas. What are the odds, pun intended, they're still gassed because woof, that was a long and somewhat unnecessarily hard-fought 2 games. Also, killed it on the broadcast. First of all, did I? Us? Second of all, yeah, they looked gassed. And it wasn't, oh man, their passes just aren't connecting tonight, or they're missing all their defensive assignments, and they're not taking care of the puck. They looked like the normal, responsible, pretty high up in the standings Leafs, but the very, very, very tired version of them. If they don't get a good rest between now and that Vegas game, Wednesday night is going to be long. And also, the game starts at 10. It'll be long for us. But then they get 2 days off. And after those 2 days off, the trade deadline will be behind them too. I think Thursday and Friday of this week are like an oasis in the desert for these players. This isn't a question, it's a comment, but I like it because it gives me an excuse to talk about a thing that I wanted to talk about anyway. Considering it's his first game, I thought Yarncroke looked hungry tonight. Yeah, man, like I don't understand, and I didn't understand last year really either, why so many people are unappreciative of this player. Yarncroke is a versatile forward. He can play sparingly on your second power play. He can kill penalties. He can play center in a pinch. He can play left wing. He can play right wing. He can score 20 goals. We saw him do it 2 years ago. And even last year, he had 10 in an incomplete season. And if you're watching this right now going, 10, look how many guys on the Leafs have 10. Outside of the guys you expect to have more than 10, no one else. And Robertson. I don't think he's going to be on the 4th line for the rest of the season. I think they're easing him in. But that's one of the best players the Leafs have had on the 4th line all season. It's a huge addition for the Leafs to get him back. Like, to just play 59 games of division-leading hockey, and then you get a pretty good middle 6, third line-ish forward back. You'd probably go out at the trade deadline and trade a 3rd and a 5th for a guy like that, which doesn't sound like much, but you know what's less than that? Free! Last one, 3:37 to go in the 3rd. Matthews is irate with the linesman over an icing call. Not sure, as a non-Leafs fan, I've seen him get like that ever on the ice. Is it common? I think exhaustion makes you cranky. And there was a play in the third period where I was like, okay, yeah, no, they don't have it. The Leafs flubbed a pass, and it resulted in an icing for the San Jose Sharks. It might have even been this one. Oh, man, who were those two crappy players who did that? Dude, it was Mitch Marner passing to Austin Matthews. Those two don't miss a lot of those. I don't think I've ever seen them do that. There was also a play where a linesman nearly tripped Jake McCabe, and it almost resulted in an odd man rush for the Sharks. Could have been that. I think the recent string of games has gotten to the team, and the team's best players are probably the most exhausted on account of they were at the Four Nation faceoff and it wasn't a vacation for them. Go and look at Marner's reaction between overtime and the shootout. It was very much the reaction of a man who was done. So look, one more game before you get 2 days off. Leave it all out there on the ice against Vegas, because that is a tough team to beat. And as the Leafs learned tonight, the truth that they learned tonight is every team in the NHL is a tough team to beat. There are no nights off in the show. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. This is the 18th season of LFR. We've been doing the podcast since 2013. And tonight, we were on an NHL broadcast. And I think that's really sweet and neat. And I also know that it's because of you. So thank you.